Hello and welcome to my art spa. Today I'm going to show you how I create design paper out of plain tissue paper and plain napkins. So yes, this is the twist. I'm not going to use decorated napkins. I'm going to use plain napkins. So stick around. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get going. Let's start by going over the materials we're going to need to complete this project. First thing you're going to need is glue. 2 parts of glue, 1 part of water, a brush. I'll be using a silicone brush, any brush will do it, and then different kinds of paper. I have this envelope made of real handmade paper that I'll be using as reference once we're done with our project to see how they compare, which one will resemble more the actual real handmade paper. I also have this plain handmade paper that I want to make look like more the other one. So I'm going to try adding some greens. Using the top layer first is the layer of the napkin and also a tissue. And we'll see which one will give us better results. To make faux paper, you need the paper and a top layer of either tissue paper or napkin. So that's how you actually make the faux paper. And that's the main difference between faux paper and faux rice paper, the sandwiching things. For the rice paper, you really just need 1 layer of tissue and glue. However, in this video, I'm going to make something different. So stick around to see what's going to happen. Another thing you're going to need is a non-porous surface because we're going to be using a lot of glue, so that when we spread the layers, it won't make a mess. And last, what's really going to be making a difference on my project and opposed to the other projects on YouTube is the things I'm going to use to decorate my papers. A lot of people are just using pretty napkins. Well, I don't have a lot of pretty napkins, so I had to come up with a way to embellish my napkins with actual real flowers and other dehydrated flowers. I have fresh dehydrated flowers in there. I have ephemera. I have pieces of journal pages, music pages, the leftovers from my last project. And this is what's going to make a difference. And it's going to produce really pretty results. Some little flowers that I have here, they're fake flowers. Some ephemera. I even have old 5 marks. Old German money. This is not a Nero, so don't worry about it. And thread. I'm going to put some thread. So, yeah. I also want to try using some stamps. So I have here a couple of my stamps that are basically mixed media stamps. They're mark making stamps. They have like handwriting and letters and numbers. And to stamp, before you do this project, you have to use some kind of permanent ink. I love StazOn. If you have archival ink, any ink that is permanent will do it. The problem with inking with something that is not permanent, once you spread the glue, it is going to make a mess because the ink is going to react to the wetness of the glue. Okay, so I think I have it all. So let's get started. First, we're going to do the faux rice paper. And the project's a little different than the regular paper. I'm just going to accelerate through this because you don't need to see this in real time. But basically, we're going to spread the glue on the actual surface, then layer the tissue or the napkin on top of that glue. And then on top of the tissue comes yet another layer of glue. Notice I already stamped my napkin and my tissue. And now moving on to the sandwich layered rice paper. Process is similar, just we're gonna have again to put things in between. Try to use things that are thin so it won't pierce the paper. I'm using petals and leaves and paper. And then notice I'm gonna put the napkin on top, another layer of glue, and I will be pushing the edges to make it easier when it's time to peel it off. Now let it dry overnight. Let's get moving on to the next project. Now, paper, regular book pages with the layer of flowers in between. So first I'm going exactly like the same process we did with the rice paper, but this is gonna be actually full paper. It's much thicker. It does not have the glue layer underneath. So that's also why I won't be tucking in the corners to make it easier the peel out process. Actually, I put the double side tape underneath to keep my paper, my book pages in place. And I think this is also going to make it easier for me to peel it off once it's all dry and good to go. And there I made a mistake. I forgot to put the flowers. So as you can see, it's easy. Before you set it all down, it's really easy to pull back out and add whatever it is that you need to add. So I'm going to forward the process because you don't need to see me doing this in real time. They will be drying overnight, and I'm going to take advantage of having everything ready to go, and I'm going to make a few extra ones that I'll share the results with you at the end. Here are the final results. I save a couple to show you what happens. Everything is quite bent because of the humidity, but see, the paper comes out super easy. Here's the So this is the napkin on top. This is the tissue on top. There's really not a lot of difference. What I noticed I could have done better was probably here because looks like some air bubbles. It doesn't tear though, it's pretty strong. Of course you can trim the edges later. Let's compare this one with the real. See, the real paper, the real handmade paper is, I want to say fragile, but it's just different. This is plasticky, so it does not really look or feel like real paper, even though this is real handmade paper. The layer of glue makes it more like plastic-like. Here's a super easy to peel off, no problems whatsoever. Those are the ones I made off camera. And yes, it did grab my mat. My mat was dirty, and it did transfer the color, which I don't mind. But if you are very specific about your project, be aware that whatever surface you lay your project on top, you might be grabbing some leftover paint if your surface is not clean. But yeah, not a lot of difference here between the napkin and the tissue paper. I don't know, I put it against the light. Nope, can't tell. Now, this one, I made a full sheet with the faux paper, and I used a magazine image. I liked the results. It looks like a collage piece to me. Well, it is. If you take it literally where you're done, it's collage. The rice paper look really nice. This one doesn't even look different than the actual napkin. But this, what I stamped, I'm really pleased. It looks like a huge washi tape. That's what it feels like. I think it's gonna look good. This is my favorite, actually. And again, here you can see the little bit of pink because the surface was stained with pink. And I think this was oxide inks. Funny. And it's been there forever. Well, now my surface is clean. So yeah, I think this is my favorite. This is also very nice. This, I don't know. It looks vintage. And by the way, another thing I've seen people doing online is instead of mixing the water with the glue, they mix coffee to make like a stain-like glue. This is the old ones that I had made before. And this is ink that I put afterwards. And I also made a couple of stripes with the hydrated flowers and music paper. This is gonna look good also in the project. And those again are the old ones I already had made before. And here's a funny one that I use, ephemera, die cuts, and thread. Interesting. Not sure yet how I'm gonna use it. To make nice pocket or envelope. Yeah. So this is it. It was fun. We'll probably be doing it some more. And yeah, I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.